This is the investing bootcamp. Part one was the hunt, part two is the investigation. In a very simple way, the whole investment journey can be divided into two parts. Step one is the filtration, and which is exactly the framework that I've been using. So it is called the Filana framework. Stage one is filtration, stage two is analysis. Filtration and analysis. This is how I've divided the whole session. The stage one filtration process. So there are around 5,000 companies listed in the stock exchange in India right now, correct? So how you can't analyze also all 5,000 companies. So how do you filter them? So let us filter top 60, top 80, top 50, top 100 stocks. So around 5,000, you're left with 50 stocks. Now, how do you analyze those 50 stocks is stage two. How do you filter from 5,000 to 50? That is something we discussed in the previous session. Yes, I give you a lot of techniques. We can use queries on screener, we can use copycat investing. There are different ideologies, different frameworks you can use to filter stocks. But once you have filtered the stock, how do you analyze any stock? Let's say one of my friends, let's say Anubhav texted me, this is a good stock, XYZ is a good company, buy. मेरे को किसी ने टिप दिया, let's say. So you should not directly invest. You should do your stage two analysis on that. How do you analyze a company is something that we'll be discussing in today's session. Yes? Chalo. In the last session, we ended our discussion with that picking the right industry is very important. I gave you 5 to 6 names of companies, and what was common between them? All were chemical companies. And between the year 2011, okay, so if you had seen 2012 to 2021, all those companies had gone 100x. So picking the right sector, picking the right industry is very important. Correct? So let me ask you a different question. Is picking the right sector enough? If we just pick the right sector based on growth prospects, is it enough? No. Let's understand history में क्या हुआ है, guys. And I'll add a quote of Benjamin Graham over here. Obvious prospects for physical growth in a business do not translate into obvious profits for investors. Yes, very, very amazing, very insightful quote. Okay, Ben Graham. What he's trying to say is, I'll wrap this up in just 2 minutes. What he's trying to say is, guys, back then, many decades back, airline companies in India were only government companies. Private sector was not allowed to invest. But one fine day, government announced that we will allow private sector companies, private sector, to invest into airlines. So private sector can have their own airlines. तो एविएशन सेक्टर में एवरीवन वाज वेरी बुलिश बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया, करेक्ट, सबको फ्लाइट से ट्रैवल करना है. ट्रू. सो एविएशन सेक्टर वाज poised to do extremely well. But back then, guys, if you just thought कि there is too much scope in aviation sector, let me put money, would you have made money? Except for Indigo, is there any company, okay, which would have made money? Jet Airways, Kingfisher, then there were so many, Deccan Airlines. Yes, yes, absolutely. There's no company around today. Okay, so back then, a lot of investors were excited. A new sector is coming, new sector is coming. Let me invest all our money. If you would have invested. So, what am I trying to say is obvious prospects for physical growth. Obviously, there were obvious prospects that this sector, this domain will grow, but does not mean there will be obvious profits for investors. It is extremely difficult to make profit, as you guys know, in aviation sector. So, except for Indigo, Interglobe Aviation, कोई दूसरा company, I don't think anyone has made any kind of decent returns for any of the shareholders. Same thing mobile sector. Guys, mobile sector में क्या था? पहले MTNL, BSNL had their monopoly, right? But then suddenly same thing, government came up and said private sector can invest here. And obviously everyone knew everyone will have to use mobile phones. It was obvious that this sector will grow. And if you would have put your money, क्या हुआ होगा? You would have lost. Yes. Except for Airtel, I don't know any company back then which is still existing. प्रॉफिट कमाया कि नहीं छोड़ो, एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं कर पाया. Yes, Vodafone Idea had to merge. You know what is the halat of Vodafone Idea back then? If I don't think even if you had invested 10-15 years back, long term, still you wouldn't have made money today. Yes, they have destroyed shareholder wealth. Company like Reliance, Reliance Communication, kya, Docomo, what has happened to those? All companies have disappeared. So same, everyone knew mobile sector will do well, but just because you know the sector will do well, put your money in any company, you won't earn money. So it is not that sector will do well. You have to analyze individual companies. If you don't analyze companies, So what am I trying to do is I'm trying to tell you what's the importance of analyzing individual companies. You can't just identify that a sector might do well. Now let me add something over here, and this is not a recommendation or something, but जैसे back then aviation and mobile sector was exciting for a lot of retail shareholders. Don't you feel like we can draw parallels to quick commerce this right now? Yes, I am not saying quick commerce will destroy wealth for a lot of people in the future years. I don't know. I can't predict that. But don't you feel similar thing? Today we are giving quick commerce companies a P ratio of 300, 350, 400. It is possible that there is some other quick commerce. जैसे mobile sector में a lot of companies are fighting, but at the end a new company, Geo, came and disrupted everything. So it is also possible in quick commerce that today companies like Zomato through Blinkit and all these quick commerce companies are fighting. It's possible after 8 or 10 years, there's a new quick commerce company that enters the market and disrupts every earlier and existing player. Very much possible. Very much possible. Correct. How do we perform stage two? Stage two मतलब analyze कैसे कर सकते हो? How can you analyze companies? Which company to buy? एक छोटा सा simple mindset I keep when I find companies. It's a four pillar thing. You have to check four things in any company. Obviously, when you move on to advanced stages, you can add pointers over here. But for starters, this is what you can use, and it has helped me a lot. Okay. कौन से कंपनी में पैसा डालना चाहिए? Guys, which company should we buy? First, we should understand the business model of the company. We should understand the business model. Second, company is financially strong in absolute as well as relative terms. I'll explain what is absolute and relative in some time. Third, run by honest and competent people. So management quality should be good. And fourth, and the most important one, available at reasonable price. Because if it's not available at reasonable price, you will end up losing a lot of money. Yes, तो कौन से कंपनी में पैसा डालना चाहिए? Four things you need to check. We understand the business model. Company should be financially strong. Management should be honest and competent. Fourth, and it should be available at a reasonable price. Let's start with the first one. अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिजनेस मॉडल कंपनी क्या कर रहा है बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है एज यू गाइस नो आई टीच सीएफए ओके तो मेरा आदत है ओके आई हैव एन हैबिट दैट आई गो ऑफ द बुक्स एंड ट्राई डिस्कसिंग समथिंग प्रैक्टिकल and one fine day I was just discussing about a company called Inox okay Inox India so there's a student he said कि सर ये आईपीओ अभी 2 साल पहले आया था ना I said yes mostly तो he said हाँ Inox India yes yes सर आई फील अभी अच्छे मूवीज आ रहे हैं तो मूवीज आर वेरी गुड तो इन्वेस्ट कर लेना चाहिए मैंने तो आईपीओ ही लगा दिया था so that student had applied for IPO of Inox India and he's telling me a lot of movies will release and the profits will go up little did he know that Inox India is not the Inox theaters Inox India is a company which makes tanks cryogenic tanks banata you know, to a lot of people today only gray market premium देख के then they invest and they don't know he is a shareholder and doesn't know what is happening in his company. What is the business model rather? So पहला चीज is we should understand the business model. Yes. So Charlie Munger has always said we have three baskets of for investing. Yes, no, and too tough to understand. Same Charlie Munger used to say जो नहीं समझता don't go beyond your circle of competence. Okay. So let's start. Coming to the heart of the discussion quickly. मैंने ना prompt ready कर दिया. After a lots of iterations, what I've done is I've made a prompt, AI prompt, which you can use on Gemini, on Copilot, whatever you guys are using. Okay, Perplexity, ChatGPT, whatever. You just take this prompt, okay, copy paste it on ChatGPT, write the company's name, and add a few sources. It will give you the best answer, and this is extremely helpful. Okay, especially for companies जिसके बारे में कुछ idea नहीं है. You guys have no idea about that company. Still, you'll be able to understand. See, I come from commerce background, so for me, chemical pharma companies becomes a bit difficult to understand initially. Yes, so this prompt has helped me a lot. Yes, let's एक बार go through the prompt quickly. This is the first time I've come across this company and in this sector. I am a curious person evaluating the company for investment purposes. To understand the business fully, please explain the following in simple words, as if I'm a 15-year-old, but do not miss any important details. If you use any technical terms, please explain the meaning in brackets. Simple. तो ये मेरा first paragraph है. अभी what all things I want in the prompt, I've explained them. So exactly I will get यही output. पहला है business model. What does the company make or do? Does it manufacture products, trade, provide services? Okay. What raw materials does it buy? What does it sell? Main customers कौन है? Unique advantages क्या है? So this is first business model. Second, product and revenue के बारे में. Third, pricing and competitive advantage. Industry and market, that is also important. Best thing is SWOT analysis. You clearly understand strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. Strategy and growth, operations, financial health, stakeholder and governance, risk and future outlooks and challenges. So स्टार्टिंग में ना आई यूज्ड टू ओनली लाइक एक्सप्लेन द बिजनेस मॉडल, फिर मैंने थोड़े लाइंस ऐड किए, फिर थोड़े लाइंस ऐड किए. टुडे आई हैव अ प्रॉम्प्ट रेडी विद 11 पॉइंटर्स. ठीक है, री इंजीनियर रीआइटरेट करते करते. नाउ एट द एंड यू विल जस्ट राइट इंस्ट्रक्शंस के ये एक चेकलिस्ट यूज करो. यस, इफ यू डोंट हैव एनी इंफॉर्मेशन आस्क फॉर मोर डिटेल्स. यस, एंड कीप एक्सप्लेनेशन सिंपल सिंपल एंड यूज एग्जांपल्स. तो ये पूरा आपको प्रॉम्प्ट यूज करना. गाइस, शुड आई ट्राई दिस राइट नाउ? आर यू गाइस इंटरेस्टेड? शुड
Yes,
आई
sir.
इन अ
Yes,
कंपनी?
sir.
I am pasting this business model prompt over here, and what I'll do is I'll add my five. What I've done is there's a company that recently came up with an IPO called Sambhav Steel. So because नया company होता है ना, you get a lot of information from a red herring prospectus or draft red herring prospectus. तो DRHP या RHP अगर मिल जाएगा तो you get a lot of details. So since this company is a new company, I don't have annual report. So then I have to go to red herring prospectus. Any which ways, red herring prospectus will give you more information about the company. ठीक है, तो आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप रेड हेरिंग प्रोस्पेक्टस डाउनलोड कर दो, यहाँ पे सोर्स में डाल दो. गाइस, इफ इट इज अ कंपनी दैट केम अप विद आईपीओ मेनी इयर्स बैक, व्हाट विल यू डू? यू विल यूज द एनुअल रिपोर्ट. यस, एनी सोर्स यू कैन यूज, बट क्रेडिबल सोर्स. न्यूज आर्टिकल वगैरह मत डालना. क्लियर एवरीवन?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
परफेक्ट. देखो ये मैंने रन कर दिया. guess it'll take some time. ये पूरा देखो, ये प्रॉम्प्ट डाल दिया. ओके ओके, somewhat it is ready. Guys, see, let's start reading this. See, business model क्या है? Sambhav makes steel pipes and tubes like the hollow pipes used in buildings, furniture, water supply and industry. Perfect. Nature of business क्या है? It manufactures products, not just trades. So हमें पता क्या चल गया? It is not a trading company, it's a manufacturing company. Third, raw material, it uses iron ore, sponge and steel scrap, makes its own HR coils in-house instead of depending fully on outside suppliers. What does it sell? उसके products क्या क्या है? ERW pipes, GI pipes, GP pipes, stainless coils and door frames. Customers कौन है? Distributors and dealers. So in short, it is a B2B thing. Unique edge क्या होगा? It is the only Indian company with a single location, backward integrated facility. Backward integrated है. You understood? So backward integrated मतलब क्या? They are their own suppliers. Yes, raw material भी वही खुद बना देता है. Yes, so their margins should be high. अभी देखो प्रोडक्ट्स एंड रेवेन्यूज. मेन प्रोडक्ट क्या? ERW पाइप्स बिगेस्ट शेयर, GI एंड GP पाइप्स, HR कॉइल्स, माइल्ड एंड स्टेनलेस स्टील. तो ये आप पूरा पढ़ सकते हो. इट विल गिव यू excellent amount of clarity about the company. Next, just a second. Third, pricing and competitive edge. Because Sambhav makes its own HR coils, it doesn't fully depend on the market, so it can offer better prices and quality. Yes, better price quality. Industry market, industry size, India is the second largest steel producer. So steel pipe and tube demand is rising due to infrastructure. So abhi guys, if you feel India ka infrastructure is going to improve, instead of directly investing in infrastructure companies which might be debt ridden, आप proxy investing कर सकते हो, wherein you can invest in a company which is making steel. करेक्ट? तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डिमांड बढ़ेगा, स्टील का डिमांड बढ़ेगा, दीज कंपनीज वुड डू वेल. तो उनके ट्रेंड्स, चैलेंजेस, कॉम्पिटिटर कौन है? एपीएल अपोलो इज द मार्केट लीडर, जेटीएल इंडस्ट्रीज, रामा स्टील, हरिओम पाइप्स, ये सारे कंपनीज उनके कॉम्पिटिटर्स है. स्वॉट एनालिसिस, स्ट्रैटेजी, ग्रोथ, ऑपरेशंस, फाइनेंशियल हेल्थ. करेक्ट? स्टेक होल्डर एंड गवर्नेंस, आपको स्टेक होल्डर कौन है सब पता चल जाएगा. बिजनेस रिस्क क्या है, फ्यूचर आउटलुक क्या है, एंड इन शॉर्ट एक समरी भी दे दिया है एट द एंड. आई होप यू गाइस अंडरस्टूड. थोड़ा बहुत हेल्पफुल लगा आपको?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
थोड़ा बहुत अगर आपको बिजनेस समझ गया, yes, if you are able to understand the business a bit, then you can move on to the next step. Okay, then you can move on to the next step wherein you can sit and analyze the financial strength of the company. Financial strength is the next step. First step है business model समझना.